Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thanks for everyone jumping on. Thanks to the new subscribers, old subscribers, anyone who's made a comment in our little journey. Many thank yous to you. Today's video is we're going flashback. It is Throwback Monday. It's not Throwback Thursday, unfortunately, but we filmed this little content that we're going to showcase today 4 years ago. I do look a little bit different, got a little bit of a front on me there. Fortunately, I have lost that. Feeling good at the moment. So, but yeah, so we put the feeler out there 4 years ago and we wanted to showcase Australia's biggest collection. I think we found it at the time, but I think, you know, it's 4 years later now, and I think that there is another one out there, but I want you guys to let me know in the comments, is this Australia's biggest collection? Do you have a bigger collection? Would you like us to come to your place and film it, interview you and showcase it? We're more than happy to travel anywhere around Australia to film the biggest collection. And you know what? It doesn't even have to be the biggest collection. If you've got a rare diecast collection that kind of you think nobody else has, let us know, send us a DM. We're happy to come on board. And you know what? I'm happy to just, you know, go around this country and meet up with fellow collectors, you know, have a good yarn, and, you know, we're all in the same boat together. So reach out, chuck a comment in the comment sections, but let me know what you think of Kane's collection. Anyway, enjoy this episode.
At the starting of the week, at Summit Talks, you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down. See those leaders start to frown. It's more than one day. Tomorrow never comes until it's too late. Come with it.
Hey, Juddy here from Southern Diecast. A few weeks ago, through our subscription page, we sent an email out seeing if we can get a showcase of some kind of collection or even the biggest collection. And I think we found it here, right here in Queensland, with Kane Gibson.
Hey mate, how you going?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mate, this is a crazy setup.
Yeah, well, fortunately enough, I've got enough room here to showcase my collection, and there's quite a bit of cars here, so get a lot of people coming in, doing the tour and showing around and showcasing my collection, so I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you. Hope you got some time, because we got some questions.
Sounds good.
Well, Kane, you know, this is quite the collection, you know. I guess what got me into this kind of stuff was you know, the real cars and all that kind of stuff, the tinkering, you know, the big loud noises of the V8s and all that kind of stuff. That's what got me collecting, but man, you got a lot of stuff here. It must have taken a long time. What got you into collecting?
Well, it was about 25 years ago, and I was dating a girl from Maya, and she comes home one day and says, all of these collectors keep on coming in and saying, oh, can you get these green strips? And of course, if you're an experienced collector, you know that they used to do green strips on the edge of the treasure hunts, and so I think it wasn't very noble, but I guess maybe greed or curiosity got the better of me. So I said to her, well, next time you get the box in, give me a call. But basically she called me when the next box came in, and I went in there and I was having a look at these green strips, and there wasn't any treasure hunts in the box because it was not late 1997 and the 1998 cars had just hit the shelf. And the Dash for Cash series had a little green strip on it. And so I grabbed this Ferrari F40 because it had a green strip, thinking it was something. I kind of liked it. Because I collected cars when I was a kid, and I'm a car guy anyway, you know. And so I've gone and bought this, and I also bought a Jaguar XJ 220 that was in the series as well, and a Dodge Viper. And there was 3 of the Dash for Cash series. There's a 4-car set, and I took them home. And while I was at home, I'm just looking at them. I knew they weren't these treasure hunts, but I just liked them so much that the next day I went back in and saw the missus at work, and I said, can I have a look at more of the cars? And I ended up buying about 30 out of that same carton. That was where it grew for me. Just in 24 hours, I became a collector. I bought 3 cars, went back the next day, bought 30 cars. So a collection was born, and that was 25 years ago.
And here it is now.
Here it is now, yeah.
We look behind us, we got quite the collection here. There's a lot of big prize pieces there.
Yeah.
A lot of them seem to be conventions, I guess.
Yes, that's it.
How many conventions have you been? And what is the highlight from them, I guess?
Well, generally speaking, getting to a convention's a highlight. I took a group of Aussies over in 2018 and they had a ball and they're hooked and they want to go to more, and then because COVID happened, which put the kibosh on that. But I've probably been to, I've lost count, but I reckon it's 12. I might be able to go up the stairs and count the lanyards, but I reckon about 12 conventions, and that's nationals as well. So East Coast, West Coast of USA, and always build it up into a holiday as well. So the highlight of the conventions for me is, look, as a whole, the best part of conventions is a room trading where you've got 400 sellers in hotel rooms just selling 24 hours a day, and you can check your watch at 3:30 in the morning and you haven't had dinner, you haven't had a drink, you're busting to go to the toilet, you got bags of Hot Wheels and you just want to keep going, and you're so tired, and you're meeting new people, everyone's remembering you, and it's like a brotherhood, and it's just fantastic. But thinking about possibly the highlight of all my conventions is probably the first convention I ever went to. A guy named Jim was so astounded that I jumped on a plane and gone 6,500 kilometres across the world just for Hot Wheels, and he's given me a red line on card. I already had quite a big collection at that point, and he said, what's something you don't have? He says, have you got a red line on card? And I said, well, I don't have any red lines on card. So he gives me an original red line Beatnik Bandit in red on a card in the Protecto, and said, there you go, that's yours, just to remember the event. And to this day he's one of my best friends, obviously with a heart of gold. You want people like that in your life, and that's probably the best experience of my convention, not because of the car I got was so valuable, but the fact that someone was willing to give something like that to me just to make my time so memorable that I'd always remember, and I'll always remember it and always be something that's close to my heart.
So it's not just the kids that get a smile from this.
Oh no. Oh mate, this is for big kids. Yeah.
Well, take a look around here. There's not much stuff that you would see in a shop.
That's right.
And there's not much stuff you'd see in a shop that was there 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
What kind of collector are you?
I'm a variation collector. That's the thing that got me early on. So we're not just talking about recolours, we're talking about maybe like a collector number with a couple of different variances that make it a little bit special and hard to find, and that always really appealed to me. So
Yeah, right. Yeah. What's been the hardest to find?
I've always been a bit of a Bugatti fan, being a supercar guy. Oh, look, I like too much, as you can tell. So I'm a muscle car guy, JDM guy, Euro guy. But the Bugatti Veyron has always had that mystique, being such a high-powered car, and if you saw it go past, you'd be struggling for your camera, and you'd be wow, 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 like everyone would be. So when the first edition Bugatti came out, there was, I think Hot Wheels, or Mattel I should say, had a few issues with the paint that Bugatti weren't happy with them, because they have such a high-end car. They have a very high-end expectation of the product you're going to present them. So originally they've painted one of the Bugattis that ended up with a bold red sides, and the first paint they've put on it is like a metallic rose colour, and Bugatti are like, we don't like it. We don't want a metallic colour, we want a solid colour. We don't do metallic colours on the original Bugatti they were trying to mimic. And so they've recalled a whole lot of cars, and a few slipped through. So if you've got one of these cars, it's really rare because it's a recalled car. And then of course they went to repair that by spraying the whole thing black and then painting red over the sides, which made the red too dark. So then Bugatti are saying, sorry, it's too dark, we don't like that, it looks like blood, we don't want that. And so they've recalled those, and a few of those slipped through as well. And then of course they got it right with where they started from scratch, painted up properly, and it came out with a really nice bold bright red on the side. So if you've got one of these two variations, the metallic rose or the blood red side, it's a very expensive car, and I spent years trying to find one. They're never for sale because they're so rare. It's a recall car. It's not really a car that was in, your every second target.
Yeah.
So finally I managed to find some from a collector who'd collected them, and he sold me a bundle of Bugattis, and these two are in it, so it was happy days.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't own one personally, and this is the first place where I've seen one.
Yeah, right.
But I
Wouldn't
guess
be many
there's
in
one.
Australia, yeah.
I guess there's one that's going to elude you.
Yeah, there.
Is there one? You can't have more.
Dropstar Skyline, of course. If you know your Hot Wheels well, you know they come in three colours. They come out with a teal, a grey,
Yeah.
and then of course the blue. Now, a blue Skyline is something that's kind of a little bit more special, and they did 3 wheel variations. Most people won't even realise. So the normal wheel they come out with was OH5, and then there's one that's, well, 2 that's eluded me, the 10 spoke, which of course you reckon you've had at one point.
I do believe I've had one.
The 10
and
spoke
I do believe I
love.
didn't realise about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one of them sold on eBay for around $600 recently. But the absolute grail of Skyline for me is the Comold Wheels one. So on my Australian Hot Wheels variation page, I've actually got the picture of that one as the header.
Yep.
It's Comold wheels were only in production for a little while in Hot Wheels and in certain special series, and it landed on those Skylines, and they're rarer than the 10 spoke, but they really suit it and they really look good. So that's eluded me. Unless I sell a kidney, I'll probably never get one. So,
what's an average price tag of something like that?
sorry, I got a cough or something.
Isn't that expensive?
Yeah, that's it. It makes me cough. Yeah, it gives me half flutters. Probably, I reckon the Comold one would sell around $1,000-$1,200.
Wow.
That's if you can find it. And this is something that would only come up every few years, and you'd have to scrutinise that so hard to make sure it's the legit one. I wouldn't even buy one on eBay for fear of it being a fake and spending that much money. But in saying that too, I'm a bit of a Scrooge, so I wouldn't spend that money anyway. So I'd probably trade it for something,
A once upon a time $2 car.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So all this chit chat about variations, what got you into it?
Well, when I first started in 1997, there was 1998 stuff is just starting to hit the shelves, and I've found a poster with everything, all of the cars from 1998 on it, and I thought, okay, so I'm going to collect the poster. I'll go for the whole year set, and I've started chatting on the Redline Club forums on HotWheelsCollectors.com because there was no Facebook back then. It was just, that was one of the few places you could actually talk to other collectors and find out information. So it seemed that everyone who collected was on there, and so I got on one of the pages, and someone said, hey, have you found this Dayglow orange Mustang? And on the poster the Mustang was yellow, and I'm like going, it's Dayglow orange. Someone put a picture on it. It's like, that's not on the poster. So then I find out through the chat that this is kind of rare, and that it's bringing $40. So not as an indicator, I didn't want the $40. I wanted the rare car. So the thrill of chasing that and hunting for it just got me really going. And once I got it, I found out that yellow one had a different type of wheel as well. And so it had like the telephone dial wheels, like 5-dot wheels. And so rather than have the 5-spoke, it was a 5-dot, and that was even harder to find than this Dayglow one. And so that thrill of the chase just hooked me straight away. And so back then, Mattel kind of looked after us with variations a lot better. 1998, 99, 2000, they were great years for variations. Even up to about 2006, they consciously put variations in the mix just to give guys like me that extra excitement. So you go on the shelf and you see the regular one, and then you find something that's different and extremely rare, and it's rarer than a treasure. A lot of variations, and a lot of variations I've got on my wall are way rarer than any super.
Yep.
Some of them, there's only 1 or 2 people in the world that have found them, and that's the sort of thing that excited me and got me into variation collecting.
Well, this is such a nice cabinet. It looks like there's a lot of good stuff in here.
Yeah, this is
what is it?
This is a jewelry box. This is. So look in here. We've got some classic Custom City chasers, black gold chasers. We've got high-end Hot Wheels.
Yeah,
I'm sure you recognise a few of these. We've got Toy Fair cars, employee cars, Mexican convention.
That gasser is a nice gasser.
Yeah. So, MEA standing for, of course, Motorola Employee Association, and of course I've got a few Australian cars, Bianti. I've got some box sets down here, high-end box sets, and of course Toy Fair, Dream Halloween, employee cars, FAA Schwartz, high-end stuff, Japan convention stuff, and of course some sweet Redline Club things as well that you don't see every day.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Well, you got the lock on here.
That's right.
I'm guessing there's something expensive in there.
Yeah. I wouldn't like to guess how much. Actually, I guess and just wouldn't tell anybody how much this cabinet's worth. So yeah.
Which one do you reckon would be the most price tag?
Look, it's a toss-up between, of course, the gasser and, of course, my favourite is that Toy Fair Porsche. The gold Toy Fair Porsche has got quite a mystique around it. There's a lot of people who chase that, and I was fortunate enough to win it. I think that cost me $20, and we've got a price tag of sometimes up towards $3,000.
Yeah,
so,
nice. Yeah, well, these are high-tagged possessions here.
Yeah.
If it didn't have a price tag, what would be your prized possession?
Well, this Camaro up here is an FAA Schwartz limited edition, and the way you got those was to go to the FAA Schwartz store in New York, which was the biggest toy store in the world at one stage, the one in that Tom Hanks movie Big, where he's playing that piano. And they have all interactive toys for kids. It's just the best thing ever. And if you're a big kid like me, they had a Hot Wheels interactive booth where you pay your money, you go into this little booth, and they've got sound effects and steam coming out, and you select your car on the computer screen, and you select your colour, your interior, your wheels, and then you watch this little video of them spraying the car and putting the wheels on and throwing an engine in and stuff with all these sound effects, and then before you know it, down this little chute comes the car you've created. Now, of course, we know that you've just selected what they've got, but they have sort of so many different selections, and you've got a little certificate that says that you actually designed this car with a photo of your car and your name on it. So you've got the high-end acrylic car, which is beautiful paint, beautiful wheels, best model you ever find, and you've got a certificate saying you designed it. So I was sort of relatively new with Hot Wheels collecting, and to see something like that and to be part of it and to feel like you're designing your own car, if I was to sell everything, that'd be the last car to go. So,
yeah, awesome. Yeah. Have you still got the certificate?
I do. I've done articles for the Hot Wheels newsletter. I've done a lot of stuff for print media at times, had a few stories and papers and stuff, and so there's a big book upstairs with all of that sort of stuff in it, and I've got the certificate still. So
there you go. Everything's for sale. Everything's for sale, except for that one.
Not really. Yeah.
Well, thanks for the time today. It's been awesome, man. There's a lot of great stuff here.
Yeah.
Me personally, I haven't seen a lot of this stuff, so you've got one of a kind with everything. What advice would you have for young and inexperienced collectors coming up, searching around the shops, that type of thing?
I think that the beauty of my collection, as you see it here, is the fact that the most I've ever paid for a car is $189 US. And when you think of cars that I have that are worth in the thousands of dollars, I think I've managed to do it on a pretty good budget where it hasn't really affected my family at all.
Yep.
It's not like I've been taking money out of my family's income to build this extravagant collection. I've been Johnny on the spot for different releases and stuff like that. But the best advice I can give is this FOMO that everyone talks about just drives the price up. I mean, you hear of a car being released, just be patient. At least wait until you know you're not going to get it on the shelf before you pay an extravagant price for it. I guess the latest Monaro is the greatest example. There were people paying $150 for it, and it hadn't even shown on the shelves yet. Now all of a sudden I see around on some Facebook pages $50. You can pick up one. That's a pretty good deal, and they sell pretty fast.
I think they're getting cheaper again.
Well, this is true. And so if you just held out, you could have bought 3 of them. So the best advice I can give you a new collector is just wait. When they start showing on the shelves, that's when they're going to be at the bottom of the market. right? And maybe later, they'll start, as people start realising that they either are rare or not, that's when the price might creep up. But don't run out just because you know it's going to be a release and throw hundreds of dollars at something, and then you're sitting on a car worth a sixth what you paid for it, because that's not the way you build a good collection. Because the idea is to pay the most meagre amount for a price, obviously, and then you can have a bigger collection with the less spend.
Yep.
And that's what I've successfully probably done here, because I just don't go out and buy stuff when I first hear of it. I wait until I know that it's not available before I pay overs for anything.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well, thanks once again, Kane.
No worries. Yeah.
Well, that concludes today's little Hot Wheels experiment. I'd like to thank Kane Gibson for the opportunity for showcasing his collection. I've seen some small collections, some large collections, but nothing ever like this. This is very extreme. There was one of everything that you could imagine. If you want to see more or follow more of Kane Gibson and his Hot Wheels collection, you can visit YouTube at My Hot Wheels Life. Alternative, you can follow his Facebook page of Fast and the Furious Sales, where he holds auctions usually once a week, so you can find some good stuff there. So once again, thank you everyone. Well, there you have it, eh? What a collection Kane's got. As I was saying before, let me know what you think. Is this Australia's biggest collection? Do you have a better collection? Would you like to showcase your collection? Reach out. We're happy to film it. I think the quality of these film and things that we do is up there, and it's very worthy to showcase it in that sense. So let us know. We're happy to make a trip no matter where you are in Australia. Let us know. We want to film your collection. It has been 4 years since we last done it, and I'm ready and you are. So let's do it. Let's have a cracker. Anyway, until the next video, enjoy the collecting. I hope you're out there hunting hard, or if you're not hunting, hopefully you are fulfilling those gaps in your collection. Until next time, peace.